Welcome to Anything New. My name is Opie, and as always, I'm here with Pete
Hello, friends.
and Matt.
What's up?
Anything New is a podcast where we talk about anything we've been using, perusing, or consuming. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Today
Good
we got
evening.
a lot of stuff on the plate. We're going to talk about the community pick for last week that Pete picked, which was Stowaway, a Netflix movie. After that, we're going to come up with my community pick. We've got a kind of a special gaming announcement that we'll announce here in a few minutes. Yeah, a little deceptiveness, a little sneaky. And then we're going to talk about the NFL draft a little bit. Pete and I are going to go over a little bit that with you. And then after that, we're just going to go over pickups. Looks like we all got some pickups this evening. So we'll start it off with Stowaway. Pete?
Yeah, let me go ahead and take the cockpit control stick on this one. That's a space reference. No,
I understood that reference.
Stowaway. It's a Netflix movie, and it just
Copy.
came out on April 22nd. So yeah, just like a couple weeks ago. So it's, kind of when I saw the trailer for it, I thought it was kind of something that was up my alley. Seems like a cool story. It's basically, the title kind of gives it away. There's a space mission that's going to Mars. 3 crew members, and not long after takeoff, they discover that there was a stowaway. And at first, I kind of thought that something was, strange about it. Like, they find this guy. He's like just hiding in a compartment, kind of like stuck. They get him down. He's injured. They kind of nurse him back to health. He has like a bad injury. And there's the commander on the ship. There's a botanist engineer type guy. And then there's like a doctor. So the doctor kind of fixes him back up. Well, they're on like this 2-year mission to Mars. So they don't really have, the supplies or the capability to kind of take on this guy. At first you kind of think, well, they'll probably have to ration a little bit of food and stuff. Well, come to find out, they have a carbon dioxide thing that's like damaged, right? Like a thing that removes carbon dioxide. Let me get my camera fixed there. Removes carbon dioxide out of the air on the ship, and it's damaged. So now like their system is kind of taxed. It's like it can't really support 4 crew members, and so they kind of get into like a pickle, right? They were like, well,
Yeah.
I like how like the commander, like right from the get-go, she's kind of like, all right, well, he's got to go. He's like, she's like, no bones about it. She's just like, yeah, okay, well, we'll just.
Well, that's after she talks to like mission control,
Right. But I mean, by
by
the time she talks to the other crew members, she's already kind of made up her mind. Like, it's got to happen. Like, she doesn't really ask them. She's like, nope, everything's been, every person at NASA with a PhD or whatever is like already decided like this has to happen. So they kind of go to the guy and kind of like give him like a needle, right? And like said like, this is the most easiest way to do it to kind of to kill yourself. And the guy's like, well, then they kind of find out that there is like an oxygen tank that's like out on like this it's like a tether. Like, and I thought this was really cool. Like I've said it before, I like all the tech and the different, science fiction movies. And this one they did something kind of different where it was like when they got out into space and they docked with the big thing, they started spinning like super fast.
Yeah.
They don't show that a lot on science fiction movies. Like if, how that works. And, a lot of times you just think that they're out there floating around, but in actuality, they may be spinning like super duper fast, thousands of miles an hour. Right. And
for gravity.
Yeah. For gravity. So they have to go out to this tether point and like way out. It's really cool looking. Like they did a really good job kind of like making the vastness of space. There's like the other, the little part of the spaceship where like these oxygen tanks are held and they have to kind of like go out there to it to try and save this oxygen that's leaking, bring it back for the guy. because that's really like the only way that he's going to be able to make the trip, or all of them at that point.
Yeah.
So they get out there, they get some oxygen, and then lo and behold, just like we talked about before, anytime they do a spacewalking thing,
something crazy.
There's either an asteroid, belt that they just happen to run through, or there's a comet that just happens to be passing through, or in this case, there's like what they call a solar storm.
Solar storm.
So it's like super dangerous because it's just like massive amounts of radiation, right? And that kind of what it was, like radiation.
Yeah. So
if they're out there for any sort of time during the solar storm, they just get rocked with radiation and it would kill them. Well, the doctor on board, who she's kind of like the only one that, she had the kindest heart. She was the most humane out of all of them. She was like, she didn't ever really want to give up hope that she could save this guy. And she kind of sacrificed herself to go back out there and try and get that oxygen tank and
get that O2.
It didn't end up happening, and she got roasted. And she did actually get it, and she brought it back, but she got roasted. So and that was the end of the movie. It was kind of like they didn't really show any sort of finish up on the mission. They didn't really show them get to Mars, and I'm sure that guy's still pissed off that his algae was destroyed.
Right.
That's like the only thing he was concerned about through the whole movie was like whatever it was. Well, it wasn't algae. Was it plankton or what was it?
No, it was algae.
Algae.
Well, what happened was he was the botanist, and he was going to be in charge of trying to grow plants or water on Mars's soil. And he started his original experimentation, and he explained all this to her because when the CO2 scrubber, which took the CO2, or it's not I guess CO2 out of the air, was damaged, he had to create algae plants. He had to grow some plants quick to get them along. And what he did was he just pretty much wiped out everything that he was on the mission to do in order to try to grow a few plants. And it was basically algae in buckets of water to somehow filter the air for them to give them just a little bit more time before they lost oxygen. But I'm like you. I mean, Apollo 13, of course, that was based off a true story. Armageddon, these spacewalk movies, the one with George Clooney and
Gravity. Sandra Bullock.
Gravity. That
was a good one.
Yeah, that's what was the one with Matthew McConaughey too, that he was
Interstellar?
Yeah, Interstellar.
The Martian. Where he became Iron Man and like hit his sliced his hand open and like flew through space.
Yeah, that was a good movie. But I'm like you. I kind of thought the whole spacewalk part of the movie, you had your drama, you had your climax, and then they get back, and I was really hoping it was like, let's make it back, hook the oxygen up, and maybe you just barely make it and make it just a good movie, because I kept kind of watching the time. I tend to do that to see
I do
kind of how far they're going to go with this. And lo and behold, the alarm starts going off at just the most predictable time when she's filling up the second the Chris Pratt and J-Lo.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I like
the
that
Passengers.
one.
Yeah, nobody
that
liked
was
that.
An underrated one. Yeah, I went
it.
to the theater and saw that, and I thought it was pretty good.
But it was it was good. And I thought it was kind of ironic when the botanist and the doctor, they had this conversation. He's like, I gave up all this and I gave up all this and I was going to save him, and I'm my life's work, what have you done for him? And then she ends up just
like, well, I'll just go kill myself for him.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and put now you feel like an asshole the rest of your life.
Right.
Yeah. Good job, dude. What'd you think, Matt?
Well, I watched it just like 4 hours ago, and I didn't know, like when you picked it last week, I was like, oh, I saw that on Netflix. Space movie, looks good. I hadn't seen any trailers or anything though. So the only thing I knew about this movie was there's 3 people going to Mars. There's an extra person on board the ship that they weren't planning for, and that's it. I didn't see the trailers or anything. So I was like, all right, it started when they finally found the 4th guy up in that, up in the compartment up there. I was like, oh, at first I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, because, I was like, okay, well, they've docked with like a space station. Maybe there was some tomfoolery going on with the crew that was there before them, and they killed the guy, and now it's a mystery.
Ooh.
But then when he fell down, turns out he was alive. Then he had this cut in his side. And I'm like, oh, and she's like, put on some gloves. I'm like, oh, maybe there was like some kind of alien that got in him and is going to possess him. And then I was like, okay. And then there was a part where he, he was, when he comes to, he doesn't, like you said, he's freaked out that he's even up in space because he was unconscious this whole time.
Yeah.
But there was a part where he was leaving a message to his sister, and it said, I think this is going to work out really well for me. And I'm like, that's the thing. He really wanted to get up here. They kept rejecting him, so he stowed away, and he's jeopardizing the mission for a selfish thing.
Yeah.
I kept watching the movie, waiting for that other shoe to drop. And then I was like, oh, this is just another generic space disaster movie.
Yeah.
And this was even before they went outside. I was like, oh, let me guess. They're going to have to go outside the ship, and they're going to have to walk somewhere. And while they're out there, they're going to get hit with meteors or something, and it's going to damage the ship, and one is going to die. And from that point, I was like, cookie cutter, paint by numbers.
Yeah.
This could have been any other space disaster movie. We watched, I was over here going back to our show notes because I couldn't remember, the Midnight Sky.
Midnight Sky. Yep.
If you take all the George Clooney parts out of that and focus on the space parts, same movie. Same movie.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, can we not get a space disaster movie that is, I know it's not interesting when everything goes right and everybody lives and happy ending, but can we not get some kind of variation on, we're on a ship and we're going to do something cool. Something on the ship went wrong. We tried everything. We can't fix it. Now we got to go outside, but then something else goes wrong and one of us dies. I've seen that movie to death. That movie has been done over and over and over. So I thought this was good, but it was perfectly average and generic.
Did he ever explain how he got hurt and got in there? Like, was there ever a definitive explanation?
No. He just was in there working, he said. And
he said he was a life support engineer. So he was working in the area. It kind of made sense how that CO2 scrubber got damaged because but anyway, how did he even survive? It looked like the takeoff in the first 5 minutes of the movie. I was like, how did he even
I wanted to talk about that because every space, one of these sci-fi movies, they kind of do things a little differently. And I don't think we've ever seen that. I mean, I don't know if that was a realistic takeoff.
Did that rock your sound system in your house?
It did, but I was just more impressed with just like how just violent it was for the astronauts. And like it does, usually they're like this kind of a little bit, we're doing good, let's go.
Let's go.
These guys, like, they were barfing and like, I mean, it was like they were like seriously like really, it was throwing them around. So I thought that was pretty cool. A couple other things I thought were cool was they kept kind of talking back with Mission Control, but most of the time, like, it was just her talking.
Yeah.
She you would never hear their voice.
Yeah.
And like they're the only ones in the movie the whole time, like there's never. It's just just the four of them. What
do you think about the like? How in the world did they have the little team meeting and the Michael guy's off nowhere, to be found? It's like, come on, don't you think something's up? I mean, he thought everything was a go, but I think he was feeling positive about it. But you had to think in the back of your mind, like, listen, if I'm working on these spacecraft, I kind of know the situation that they're in, and there's probably something's got to give here.
I think Matt just came up with a great plot for a movie. So they're supposed to dock with this ship, right? They get out there, they dock, and they get there, and there's only like 2 survivors and like 30 crew members dead. And both of them have different stories. And now the new crew have to
Among Us.
Walk back and find out who's sus. But that'd be a good we don't get very many horror space movies anymore.
So in this movie it wasn't really NASA, it was Hyperion. Does that sound familiar?
Like a SpaceX kind of thing?
Yeah, well, think about it.
I mean,
from video games.
Hyperion?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hyperion was one of the manufacturers of the guns in Borderlands.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a secret because they're making the Borderlands movie. This is a secret prequel.
This is the crossover.
Yeah.
This is like Venom and that one movie where they said
Oh,
it was gonna be
that would
Venom.
have been so cool if that had been the case.
I know, man.
That would have been so
That
cool.
would have been cool. I agree.
Yeah, they kept saying Hyperion, and I was thinking, oh, Borderlands. I was like, that's who made like, I guess maybe when the whole world goes post-apocalyptic and everybody goes to Mars, and Hyperion's still making guns.
Yeah.
in the Borderlands
Why
realm.
Mars? Every movie. Why Mars? Why
It's
are we
the
so
closest.
focused on Mars?
It's the closest.
And it's got traces of stuff that's happened.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my very educated Earth mother, Mars. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Please
And,
excuse my dear answer. No, sorry.
I think it's the only one that's like remotely habitable, even though we'd still have to like build like big domes and stuff. But
Yeah,
they think they
Total
can like
Recall.
make oxygen and stuff out there.
Well,
You just have to
Okay.
get the what was it in Total Recall the guy in the belly,
yeah,
and you just got to put your hand on the thing and it gets terraformed easy.
that's right. There's ancient aliens have built big heating
That's right.
structures to heat the ice, the core's ice, and the water will be released.
But yeah,
So-
this movie was it was like this again really how
Yeah.
one thing I did think of is how awful do you feel if you're the fourth guy, Michael,
Oh,
the whole time while they're like, oh crap, we've only got
For
enough
sure.
oxygen for 3, one of us is gonna die, and the whole time you're like, oh, this is all my fault. You
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
How
And
bad
he
do you feel?
he probably just took a nap on the job. You know what
He
I mean?
was.
Like that's like a lot of these guys. It's
He
like,
was like, "Listen, I
it
got-"
happens. He's
He's like,
probably
"I
in
got
there
this-
with a sandwich and fell
Hey.
asleep.
Hey, he just got back from COVID relief. He got his STEMI check. He's going to lay down, take a nap or something.
What I don't understand, and I think maybe they tried to explain this, but I tried to equate this to like if NASA were doing this, how do you not put, you've got 3 people going up and you've got enough oxygen for 3 people. How do you not put more oxygen than you need just in case?
Yeah,
I
no
think
kidding.
I think that scientists and numbers and things like they calculate all that out to where I guess it takes a lot to get into space, and the less you can put on, the better. I mean, that's the only way that I can think about it, is like they calculate it down to the number. Well, and one thing I was thinking too, he was washing the blood out of his shirt and the water just running. Like he's using more water than we use here.
Right.
on the ship.
I didn't even think of
And
that.
I'm like, the water's running. He's like, he was scrubbing.
Right.
He's like, damn it. And he's just sitting
Well-
there and the water's running.
Well,
I'm like,
there's probably a recycling system.
yeah,
that
well,
recycles
you
water.
probably pee and it recycles on those.
Yeah.
And they were talking about like down to the gram of what they could bring on board, like with their coffee
with
cups.
yeah.
But there's like a 185-pound dude that just happened to be. But
Well,
that is
that
why
was the
the
reason-
fuel was messed up in the beginning on the launch.
Right.
Their
Yeah.
fuel was messed up.
Wow.
But it's just funny, like there's no sort of weight and measurement like on the thing. You know what I mean? It just seems like there's, I don't know.
And there's no like 130 point inspection before the thing takes off. Like you're not checking
Right.
and double checking the CO2 scrubber that the dude's laying on.
No head
been there.
count.
Well, it's like Daniel Day Kim's character said, we don't make these kinds of mistakes. How did we miss this? I
And
guess you
that-
don't check in, because she found him by unscrewing the compartment and he fell out. I guess they don't unscrew everything to make sure there's not a guy asleep in there.
That's weird. How did he get in there and it got screwed behind? I don't know. And then did his supervisor not call at the end of the day when he didn't clock out? I mean,
Right.
seriously.
I don't know. It was a
Anyway.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was an average movie. It was a Netflix show. I can see how it got made. There's not a lot of set, a lot of CG, and
Yeah.
4 actors. So, stuff like that is, you can make original like Moon and some of those movies that are really original space movies that really grab you. I liked Prospect too. You guys watch that with me and stuff as well, but sometimes they can be cookie cutters. So let's swing the fence a little bit. We're going to stay in the realm of violence and gun toting, because it seems like everyone I pick, we're going to have some violence and people shooting each other and things like that. So new to Amazon, it's the Tom Clancy movie Without Remorse.
You son of a gun.
And it stars Michael B. Jordan. That's not the guy's name. That's the guy's name. But yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay.
came out last Friday on Amazon. I was gonna watch it over the weekend and didn't get around to it. So I was actually thinking, well, if I can I really want to see it. It looks kind of generic, but I really want to see it, and I didn't watch it when it came out. Maybe I'll wait another week and I'll use that as my pick next week.
And then we'll play the game when it comes out.
There's
No,
what?
no,
There's
I'm just
no-
kidding. I mean, Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do we want to watch a trailer?
Yeah.
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 Wait, you didn't
Emma-
even say the name.
Oh yeah, I did. Did I not? Without
No.
He
Tom-
did.
Without Remorse?
He said that.
yeah, it's Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. That's all it is.
Right. Yeah. I think it
All
looks good, but it's basically The Punisher.
All right, let's kick it.
On your feet.
Senior Chief John Kelly is more dangerous and effective than any man we have in the field. The only thing he has more than kills are medals.
Somebody would like to talk to you.
John, if you're done in there, we need you to get back in the field.
Senior Chief Kelly, it appears you have a common enemy with the United States.
They took everything from me. My family. I got nothing left.
Their plan is a series of strategic attacks.
All over the world.
We have to respond.
I need to be on that team.
Lieutenant Commander Greer, you lead the mission.
CIA doesn't support any further investigation into your wife's murder.
They had no right to take so much from me.
Oh,
This is a go mission.
They know exactly where we be. What's the real mission? Did what they want in my house. They're gonna play by my rules now. No remorse.
okay. I'll watch that.
This is an easy pick.
Yeah. So I'm a sucker for those kinds of movies. Like I said, I wanted to watch this on Friday when it first hit. I'm a total sucker for these kinds of movies, but that does look super generic. And they hit every trope in the book. The only thing he's got more kills than is medals, and he's the most dangerous man we've ever seen. And he's the
killed
only
more
one.
people than heart disease.
Yeah, and I guarantee Guy Pearce, who was like the head government guy that got him out, I guarantee he's the bad guy, and it's going to come out that they're trying to frame
spoiler.
him, or I don't know. I'm just guessing that's how all these movies go. But I'm still in. I still like these kinds of movies. I just like the action, and I'll watch anything Michael B. Jordan's in. Friday Night Lights when I first discovered
That's
him.
what
He's a pride of Dillon, Texas, man.
Oh, that's
right.
what I was thinking. I didn't want to say it. I was like, he was in Friday Night Lights.
Way better.
Well, he was an
quarterback
East
than-
Dillon Lion, not a West Dillon Panther.
Right,
So
yeah.
when they split Dillon
It
into
was-
two.
Yeah,
way better quarterback than Voodoo.
That's right.
I mean, Doo-Doo, like Smash called him.
Yeah, he ended up
One of-
being better than Matt Saracen, and
Yep.
Yeah.
probably
Come
give
on.
Street a run for his
More of a
money.
dual threat kind of guy.
We'll talk more about that on our special edition Friday Night Lights podcast that we're going to start. It's the greatest show ever.
All right,
It's a dandy.
so that's cool. That'll be our pick for this week. Make sure everybody out there watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. If you don't know, but ask somebody. So we're going to go into, speaking of community, we're going to do another community thing this week, guys. This is brand new, something we discussed now for a week now. And, we are kind of video game guys. We like our video games, and we're kind of been looking for a game that the three of us can play that's kind of all in the same realm that we can kind of gradually go through, that kind of has an ending. And, we all kind of like fantasy kind of stuff. We like the WoW. We like the D&D. We like things that fight dragons, swords, knives, shields, that sort of thing, a little magic in there. We've decided that twice a week, we're going to play a game called Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, this is a game that came out in 2017. And Matt and I have a little bit of experience with it. We played a little bit of it back in the day when it first came out, but basically it is a role-playing game. It's an RPG, and you take a group of people and you go through this world and you accept quests, you fight monsters, but it's more of a turn-based simulation type of game. So each character we're going to create, we're going to contribute to the team. And we're going to complete these missions and complete this story and hopefully complete the entire game. It's a really fun game. Matt and I played it not too long ago and enjoyed what we...
Well, it was 4 years ago.
Well, it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be right up our alley. Now, we are going to stream this. Right now, we've set up a schedule for Tuesday. What was it, guys? Tuesday night?
Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, Tuesday night from 9 to 11, and Friday nights from around 10:30 to probably 12:30 or 10 to 12, around in those areas. But you know how we are. Everything's subject to change with us. So on Tuesday night, we're going to be selecting our characters and setting up our group and starting our adventure. So we'll probably tweet that stuff out or hit the social medias out when we do go live. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we could probably have some feedback while we play, and we'd like to have a bunch of you on. We'll probably be streaming it to YouTube.
Yeah, we'll definitely kind of show some highlights on this show of kind of our adventures and any crazy stuff and mishaps, I'm sure, that are bound to happen.
Yeah, it'll be something good, some more content to discuss on the podcast from week to week as we go through the storyline and just kind of give some feedback of how we're liking it and what kind of shenanigans we get into. But that's Divinity Original Sin 2, and we're going to all be playing it on our PCs. So it's out there in Steam if anybody wants to look at it and pick it up. But,
yeah, really highly rated game. Like, it was like super well received.
Yeah, it's fun. It's super involved. It's got a lot more. It's not just a surface level thing. You actually have to read the quests and understand what they want you to do. It's not like WoW where you can just like click a thing and just go to the marker on the map. And so it's definitely pretty deep. But I had fun with it last time we did it, and looking forward to it. And like Obi said, this is going to start this Tuesday on the 4th, streaming on YouTube. It's only going to be streamed on YouTube for now, I think, starting around 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right. So moving right along, speaking of Friday Night Lights and quarterbacks, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft that happened this week. Now, I just caught most of the first round kind of live, and then I kind of followed it on social media. Pete, you and I, we like to call ourselves Bengals fans. And I was a little bit surprised by their first pick, seeing as the Bengals last year had an all-pro, all-rookie quarterback in Joe Burrow get his knee shredded towards the end of the year because he pretty much spent a lot of time on his back his rookie year. I was hoping they would go with a big ugly in the first round and kind of shore up that offensive line, but they went receiver, and it was a pretty good receiver though, right?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things like where stats can be skewed by things, right? It's like, okay, Burrow got sacked a lot. Well, then, like, I watched a thing on one of the NFL breakdown shows where they were saying, well, so why was he being sacked a lot? And it wasn't just because he had a horrible offensive line, which they did improve greatly. Like the second half of the season, they improved quite a bit.
Yeah.
When they brought in the backup, Brandon Allen, they kind of tailor-made the offense a little bit more for him, which was like quicker passes. Like they didn't want him to take sacks and get pressure, so they got rid of they put a scheme in where it would benefit, which they should have done in the beginning. Like that should have been from day one. But also they were showing stats like Burrow held onto the ball like longer than the average quarterback.
Sure.
And that's because he's a rookie, you know?
Rookie.
So like when they get more comfortable and they can go through their progressions faster, they get rid of the ball faster, they take less pressures, they take less sacks. So yeah, he got sacked a lot. Also, our wide receivers had some of the lowest separation rates of all receivers in the NFL. So we do have good wide receivers, but they noticed that like the average separation amount on a reception, like the Bengals receivers were among the lowest.
Okay.
So because they're separating less, Burrow has to wait longer. So there's just all these like little factors. So, but yeah, you're right. They should have took Penei Sewell in the first round, probably, but they got Jamar Chase, who was the Biletnikoff Award winner, you know, the year before at LSU. He was Joe Burrow's big target. He got like 20 touchdowns. They won the national championship together. They have chemistry together. I'm sure Burrow, you know,
had some input in that.
They'll never say that, but you know that he probably did.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. And it was funny, just kind of a story of this draft is you saw a lot of teams kind of teaming up with their, like, you know, down there in Jacksonville. They draft Trevor Lawrence and then they go with Travis Etienne and like apparently that
Waddle to Miami for Tua.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then the Eagles.
You may want to change the caption right here.
My bad. The Eagles, they took the other Alabama wide receiver,
Devontae Smith. Yeah,
who he had played with.
The other Alabama quarterback. Yeah, I'll think of it in a minute.
Yeah, they paired some guys together, but yeah. So Trevor Lawrence went first. That was a no-brainer. Zach Wilson, that was, you know, he's kind of one of these guys, quarterback from BYU, kind of came out of nowhere this past year. Did you see all the stuff about him and his mom?
I didn't see the mom stuff. No,
his mom is like, I guess, just like a really beautiful woman. So it was kind of like all over the boards, like because he looks like he's like 15. Like this guy looks so young, and he's the first NFL player born after 2000.
Oh wow!
So he looks super young. Yeah, he just looks like incredibly young. And then the San Francisco 49ers, they had traded up for their pick.
What about the North Dakota State guys? I mean, North Dakota State played one game last year. The quarterback that the 49ers took had 17 career starts.
Yeah.
And they take him. So, you know, it's all about it. But, you know.
And he sat out last year. Well, he only played the one game. Yeah. And Kyle Pitts went to the Falcons. That's a good pick, even though they have their aging quarterback, Matt Ryan.
Right.
Bengals took Jamar Chase, and Waddle. Penei Sewell went to the Lions after that. That's a good pick. I mean, it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in the pickup section. But, you know, my son, my 14-year-old, and I went to Cleveland, the site of the draft this weekend, and we went up for a couple Cavaliers games. They had a back-to-back, the Cavs did. So we went up there for that and walked around downtown, and it was really awesome. There's like a crew of like 8 Seahawks fans walking on this side of the street, and there's like Bears guys. Yeah, Bears guys on this side of the street. There's just like it was just like the NFL had taken over downtown. And it was really cool.
Real quick, talk about Cincinnati's or the Bearcats. Who got drafted for Cincinnati?
Pretty much all of their good guys. Like our big offensive lineman, he went in like the 5th round, I think. We didn't have any like super high picks, but
we did. Tennessee didn't either. We didn't have much of a draft this year.
And they also had a few that were undrafted free agents. Like as soon as the draft was over, like we had like 3 or 4 Bearcats that kind of got picked up right after that.
The same way with Tennessee. New Orleans, Matt picked up a couple of more UT players, mostly in the free agent draft, and they were just I'll have to look it up real quick and see. But they kind of realized that since they got such a steal on Alvin Kamara and then a couple more, I think they signed a couple more free agents, that they realized that Tennessee is just a underrated waste of talent. All we do is waste talent at Tennessee during college. So when they get to the NFL, but
those kids are going to be shocked to find out, wait a minute, football is 4 quarters, not just 2. What?
Matt, what did you think of the Saints draft?
I don't know who got drafted. I don't follow the draft, so
Okay.
I'm out
The
of this one.
Tennessee Josh Palmer was an underrated receiver, a big, tall receiver we had. Got picked up by the Chargers, and Trey Smith. He was a 5-star offensive tackle. He had some health problems with some blood clotting while he was at UT. Kind of had to sit some time out. It's a real scary situation because blood clotting is not really anything you're going to mess with. So that kind of dropped him down to the 6th pick. So if he's healthy, Kansas City, they kind of flew under the radar. They got so many offensive linemen in this pick, in this draft that, I guess we're going to have to wait.
That's like their only weakness,
Yeah.
like they got, probably the best quarterback on planet Earth and, awesome wide receivers and running backs that can blaze. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to go into that sophomore slump, but I don't know when that's going to happen. But
it seems like this Trey Lance, he kind of has similar qualities. That's from what I've seen, like to Mahomes, like where he can like be running to the right and then just like sling a pass back to his left, like 40 yards, and just like on a rope.
Right. So that's a pretty good breakdown of the draft, kind of what we observed. Real quick though, kind of draft related and kind of crypto related. Tell me about this Trevor Lawrence stuff, breaking all these crypto records on. Apparently, he's got something. What is that?
I don't want to trigger Matt by talking about stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he just Trevor Lawrence. He signed his or is in negotiations with the Jaguars, and he's openly said that he wants a portion of his signing bonus to be in kind of like a fund of the top cryptocurrencies, which is like Ethereum and Bitcoin. So yeah, he's going to get some of that. And it already is like anytime like there's a little news like that, there's always like a little bump in the crypto prices. So
I thought I saw something where he's going to have one of those tokens or
like an NFT.
Yeah, an NFT that just blew up.
Everybody is, so I'm sure he will.
I thought I saw that he had one and it sold for like $225,000.
Yeah, I thought he broke the record. Yeah,
which,
probably.
I don't.
He probably just like took a selfie and said, "Here's my new NFT," and then so I was like, "I'll give you $200,000."
I mean, I did a Google image search and I have it too. So whoever wants to waste $225,000,
that is fake news. Do not listen. He does not have the same thing. That's not true. You can't do that. That's not factual. You can't print $100 bill on your copying machine, and it's not the same thing. Okay, next.
Moving on. That's pretty much wraps up the what we had for the show, and we're going to go into our pickup section now. I got a couple little things. I'll go first.
Well, real quick, I wanted to say, Matt, the Saints did draft a quarterback this year. They took well, I'm just that's kind of big news, like
no, I know. Well, no, I'm saying like that doesn't make any sense for them because they've. I know Breeze isn't coming back, but don't they have
Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston,
Taysom Hill, who like can throw like 6 passes a game. I don't.
Well,
neither one of
exactly.
those guys.
I
don't think that. I think that shows the amount of trust they have in those guys. Like there's not much. So they took the Notre Dame quarterback, Ian Book. So just something to kind of keep an eye on.
And Matt, the Patriots took Alabama's quarterback, Mac Jones, who is probably going to tear it up there.
Did you see his picture in the locker room, like where he had the cigar in his mouth?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
In the what locker room?
I like in that Bama locker room from last season, like so he's like standing next to like, everybody at Alabama is like chiseled out of granite. You know what I mean? Like all these players, they're just like, they look like, they're sculpted. You know what I mean? Mac Jones looks like a 45-year-old dad bod. Like he doesn't have one muscle in his body.
I was gonna say I'm molded out of silly putty.
Well, let me tell you something real quick. So whenever you see a picture of an Alabama player smoking a cigar in the locker room, that usually means they just beat Tennessee, because that's a tradition in the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry, which if you win that game, you smoke cigars after the game. So That's kind of hurt.
Which
That kind of
makes no sense anymore. Like how can it still be a rivalry when it's just a ass whooping?
It's still a
every year?
rivalry, Matt.
I just
It's
don't.
still a rivalry.
It's okay.
Watch
Hold on
sports.
a sec. I gotta show you this. I mean, we don't often share shirtless photos of men on this stream, but maybe we should. Maybe
Yeah,
we
maybe
should
maybe it'll be a new segment.
Okay, Mac
Shirtless
Jones.
man photos. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's like the Tom Brady, like from when he back in the day.
That's what it will be. It'll turn into that if he does get.
Yeah.
Anyway, totally. So anyway, sports ball. Am I right, guys?
Shit.
So my pickups this week, and this wasn't related to my comment with Hyperion earlier, but I picked up the couple little Borderlands Mega Block things. I went to the Kroger, and they still had these. Here's the Claptrap tube. So there's the Psycho.
Nice. Oh, he's not yellow.
No, he's not. He's a different. I don't know where the blue one comes in. I haven't got that far into the game to see a blue one. Yeah, maybe if Dan's watching, he can, or Tim's watching, they can kind of give us a real quick shout. But yeah, there's a Psycho, and the only one I don't have from this Mega Block one, is the Tom Clancy. I still have to get the Tom Clancy guy.
Oh, Sam Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need him to grab the second one if you see two of them.
You like Sam Fisher?
Well, yeah, Splinter Cell.
Okay. All right, Matt, what you got? What you got?
I got a few things that all came in at the same time, ordered at different times though. I got the McFarlane Batman Beyond.
Finally, you've been wanting that one.
Yeah, this one, and this is the non-Build-A-Figure, so it's the one that has the comic accurate face with like the mouth on it, not like the mask like the other one does. So that's pretty cool. And then I finally got some more of these little dudes. I got some more of the Marvel 3 3/4 inch. This is Carol Danvers. Now I got these from Amazon.
Unpunched card.
Yeah, because I don't think they really do exist in Target. I think that's all a lie.
I can't believe you got it that good a shape from Amazon. That card is crispy.
I know. And I got Human Torch.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. And I always told myself that I like these things so much, and I have such a hard time finding them, that if I ever find more than one, I'll get doubles. So I got another Human Torch.
You found it at Target?
Oh man.
No, I ordered two of them from Amazon.
Scalper alert. Scalper alert.
No. I'm gonna open one. Although, but the question is, because I got two of the Hulks. I didn't get this one this time, but remember I opened one. Yeah. But then I thought, well, wait a minute, because I ordered Carol Danvers at a different time. I was like, wait a minute, why didn't I order two of her when I ordered two? But I'm not sure. And then I ordered. I got a second Spider-Man.
Nice.
I got the first one from the Hasbro Pulse thing, so I'm going to open this one as well.
So are those pretty prevalent on Amazon, just not in Target? Like, are they coming up?
No, they're not prevalent on Amazon either. The only reason I ordered Carol Danvers forever ago because she's the only one they had. And then when I was looking at my order history for something else, I clicked on her and it said, you may also like, and it had Human Torch and Spider-Man. But there's a bunch of other ones that Amazon still. So it's a crapshoot, man. I mean, it's just
it is.
And I was in my Target on Friday, and it looks as bare as it did in January. I mean, I don't know. And then the last thing that came in today is the Marvel Legends MODOK.
Are you opening that?
Well, I'm gonna have to because there's no window. Like you can't see him. So that's what he looks like.
Wow.
But if I don't open him, I'll never be able to see this. So
what is that guy?
Who's his nemesis? Who's the
So he tangles with the Avengers mostly.
Yeah.
He had his origins like steeped in like dealing with AIM, advanced idea mechanics, and he's got a complicated backstory.
What's actually his name? I see it's like
I don't remember. It's some contrived acronym.
When the superhero, the reason I know most of these Marvel characters like that is when Gavin we used to watch a Superhero Squad when it would come on, which is the little kids kind of Avengers cartoon.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun because I used to ask Matt all these questions about who Doctor Strange was and who MODOK was and why did they do this and why did they do that, because it was really, they had all these really cool little inside jokes. It's kind of like SpongeBob but in the Marvel universe, and it was really awesome. I'm going to look that up. I wonder if you could watch that anywhere, Matt.
I don't know, but there is a MODOK.
Shouldn't Disney have it now?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
It might be on there, but they're on Hulu really soon. There's a MODOK animated series coming out that's kind of like a sort of a humorous series, but it's not like hand-drawn animation. It's like CGI, but it almost has a look of like claymation almost. But it's like a silly, like Patton Oswalt is the voice of MODOK, I think. So I might check that out. MODOK stands for either mental, mobile, or mechanized, depending on the day. Organism designed only for killing.
Oh,
So it's one of those contrived, like we got to turn this into something,
The Superhero Squad show is on Disney Plus. There's 2
Word.
seasons.
That's a fun show.
The funny one, I'm looking at the thumbnails right now. There's one that has Hulk talk smack, and he turns into Gray Hulk, and he's all sophisticated.
Oh
and
yeah, I remember that one. That's
it
great.
was hilarious. All right.
But yeah, so those all came
That's
in.
awesome, man.
Yeah,
Those are awesome. Maybe if
but
you
yeah, I'm gonna
find
have to open them because you can't see them. So if
If
there
you
were
find
a
it-
window, maybe. But
if you ever find a third Hulk, just put it in my fun box. I'll get you back.
oh, you mean the little guy?
Yeah,
The little. Oh yeah, for sure.
James, what you got for us, brah?
okay. Well, like I said, I went to Cleveland over the weekend. We saw it was just such a fun time. We went to 2 Cavs games. They got destroyed in both games, which we're not Cavs fans. My son and I are Knicks fans.
What?
But yeah, we're New York
Okay.
Knicks fans. But they got destroyed by the Washington Wizards, who are actually really good right now. They're on a tear. They have Westbrook now. So they're on absolute tear. They destroyed the Cavs by like 25 or 30 points. It wasn't even close. And then the next night they played the Miami Heat, and the Heat aren't great right now, but they're still way better than the Cavs. So neither game was really competitive, but it was fun just kind of going and, seeing a new arena. We kind of try to go to the ones that are within driving distance, like the Pacers and things like that. And yeah, so it was a good time. So anytime I kind of go to a new city like that and have a little spare time, I just go to Google Maps and type in retro game store and try and find something that's close by and kind of hit something like that. And so we had some time yesterday morning and found a couple places. And now that Peyton is kind of into collecting vinyls, we actually found one place called The Exchange, which I think we'll be able to kind of post some pictures and put them on Instagram and tag them, I guess. It's called The Exchange, and they have like 4 or 5 different locations around the Cleveland area. And it was really nice. I'll share my pictures that I took inside the store because the pictures on Google aren't as nice as the ones I took. It's really clean, like super upscale. Their prices were a little bit more expensive because it's a little bit more upscale of a location. Yeah. So they're kind of a chain up there. But I bought some NES carts. Oh. So what I wanted to do was on a couple of them, I wanted to just play a little bit of gameplay and see if you guys could guess the game.
So this exchange, was it vinyl, retro games, everything, like a book exchange?
Yes, it was vinyls, it was comics, it was action figures.
Yeah.
I shared I think a picture of a couple pictures on our Discord.
Oh, is that where that was from? Yeah.
Yeah, that was at the exchange. I mean, and then they had consoles, they had everything that we would collect pretty much, But went there, got some NES carts, went to another one called, let me see what it was called. I forget. It was I think it was Level 2 Games. And this was more kind of like a traditional retro game store. It's like a little hole in the wall called Level 2 Games in Cleveland. And the guy was super nice in there. They had some pinball machines, just kind of things like that. And I ended up buying a few NES carts in there. Nothing super expensive. But one of the little funny things that was in there was they had a Mega Man 2 in-box NES cart. Whoa. That was like, I know that's an expensive game, and it didn't have a price tag on it, and there was a price.
Afford it.
There was a sticker in there, but it had fallen off, and it said 10. And I'm like, hey man, this Mega Man 2 NES card in here, I think the sticker fell off. Is this $10? Thinking I was like, man, I hope he says yeah, it must have been,
Yeah.
And
Catch
he
you
goes,
slipping.
he's like, no, I don't know why that one doesn't have an alert. It's actually $90. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
So it would have been awesome
The
if I could have
tag
got it for
meant $10
$10.
away from $100.
Yeah, so I stay away from the expensive stuff. I'm more of the $3 to $5 kind of game guys.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll go up to like $6 or $7 if it's something I really want, which I did a couple on these. But let me show a couple of these games. I want you to see if you can guess what game it is. Make a little game out of this. Let's
Okay.
see. All right.
Let me go full screen here.
Here we go. See who's going to get it first. Are you ready?
Yeah. That's Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Boom. All right. 1 point for the Opster. All right. There's one more. Let me stop that. Let me get the other one loaded up here. Good job. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's kind of the same theme. So I'll give you that as a clue. All right. Here we go.
Platoon.
Dang, bro.
I was gonna say Platoon, but I didn't think. I was like, surely they didn't make a video game
Look,
about Platoon.
this is what I thought was cool about this.
Bro.
Look, it goes into like a first person mode.
I
on
think
the
I may have.
NES.
I think I may have rented this at one time. I had to have.
And look, it shows like the map on the side.
That
I
would
thought
be
this
so-
was kind of neat. So
Dude, that's
yeah,
crazy.
Platoon. Good job, Opie.
Okay.
We might have to do this more often. Like this kind of fun little game. Okay, well let me run through the rest of the games I got here.
Okay.
So I got a game called Iron and Shield. You
Yep.
guys ever play that one?
Yep. It's got Fabio on the front. Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, I tell you what, man, Opie's on point with it.
Well, he's got a Fabio collection, so
Spy versus Spy from Mad Magazine. That was a fun game. That's a fun game.
A lot of times I'll buy the unique titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if there's
Yeah.
like something that I don't have, but it's kind of more generic. You know, like
Yeah.
I kind of like the ones that I like. This one, like this is kind of unique,
Highlight. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
kind of cool. All their games were in such good condition. Matt will really like this one. Cold
Days
Triple,
of
Days of
Thunder.
Thunder.
Cold
Hey,
Triple,
we're-
baby.
Robin's racing.
Yeah, I was race.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Jeez.
Go any extra gallon of gas.
Yeah.
Make you-
Shape you like a bullet.
Swords and Serpents. Those are good. I'm bringing back some memories. The old. There it
Metal
is.
Gear.
Yep, there it is. Metal Gear.
Such a classic cover, man.
Well, that's what's his name from Terminator on the cover. They I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
is it Michael Bean?
Yeah, and they either stole his look or there's
There's
Platoon.
Platoon.
Sunsoft.
Good job on Platoon, man. I didn't think you guys would get that one. Our friend J Dub will love this one.
Dude, that's a
Team
good move.
Wrestling.
That's a good Data East. That's a good game.
I know. Look at this. $3.
Nice.
And then the last one, I thought this one was cool because this is a light gun game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh, with the duck hunt shooter.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, I thought
now
that was
you
kind
need
of cool.
now you need a CRT.
So that was my pickups. Yeah. So
Yeah, I do
that's
hope the
fun.
retro game market kind of crashes. I don't think it'll ever crash, but hopefully stuff will start coming back down
yeah, I'm sure it will.
soon.
But it's kind of like
All
you
right.
said, once people our generation kind of gets out of it, then the younger
Yeah.
generation probably won't be collecting it.
Nope. Everybody that we know will be wanting to sell our collections, probably including us. It's like, oh, I don't want these stupid games anymore.
Yeah.
What's up with all this physical media that we got?
Yeah, when I'm 80, I'm like, gosh, why did I buy all those comic books back in 2021? I've got boxes full of them. And my son will have to do something with them. And
Yeah, he'll be calling like the next American Pickers. It's like,
right.
you know, you'll be like, my children don't want it. I'm just trying to get it to somebody that can appreciate it or whatever. But anyway.
Dude, it'll probably be like our kids will just throw all this stuff in a yard sale.
Oh my gosh, that makes me sick with all the valuable comics I got.
All right, guys, great show. Matt, would you do us the honor of hitting us up on the socials, please?
I guess I could do that. Guys, you can find us on Twitter at Anything New Cast. You can also find us on Instagram, Anything New Podcast. That's where we post pictures of our pickups and things like that, send us an email, guys. anythingnewpodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email. We've got video game codes, Steam codes to give away just for sending us an email. You can watch our live streams or past shows or our upcoming Divinity Original Sin 2 streams on YouTube. We don't have a vanity URL, but we do have a bit.ly link. So it's bit.ly/anythingnewyt for anything new YouTube, anything new YT. And then join us on our Discord. We got a bit.ly link for that as well. bit.ly/anythingnew_Discord1 with a number 1 on the end of that. And Facebook too. So just search Anything New Podcast on Facebook, and you can watch the live episodes there. But the Divinity Original Sin 2 stream won't be on Facebook. It'll just be YouTube.
Is it too late for me to add one more pickup?
Go right ahead.
Yes, the door is closed. You'll have to wait till next week.
I'm sorry, guys.
Just kidding.
What you got?
Well, Diana went to a Reds game this past week and got a Eric Davis.
Oh yes, I saw those.
Yeah, I took it out of the box because I just love it so much. Like I don't care.
so
I'm never
good.
selling it. Yeah.
So good.
I love it.
Is that a bobblehead or no?
No, just a
Okay.
Funko Pop.
That's
But
cool. I don't like the bobbleheads.
it's cool because of the wherever the box is. It says on it Great American Ballpark exclusive on it.
So it's only exclusive to that. Nice.
yeah, that game. You had to go to the game to get it. Like that's all they're making.
Yeah,
They made
Eric
like
Davis was my favorite player, followed by Barry Larkin, maybe Chris Sabo.
look at his
I don't
little
know.
earrings. Remember
Yep.
how cool it was like when baseball
Oh,
players
yeah.
started wearing earrings?
Yeah.
Was
And
that
he
in a regular Funko box though?
Let me see. Hold on. Stand by.
I just want, just a square box. That's what I like about Funko boxes is they're not taped shut.
Yeah, they're not.
Hello.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with opening that because Funkos aren't sealed or anything, so you can
Yeah,
put
see,
it
there's
back
a little-
in there.
Can't
That's
really
pretty
see, but it says
cool.
Great American Ballpark exclusive. Yes, it's Skyline Chili on the back. I know Matt likes a Skyline
Ooh.
Chili.
Well, I haven't had
Oh yeah, you just had Gold Star.
Skyline, Gold Star, but you said it's Skyline is even better. So
Skyline's a little bit more highbrow. It's really almost the same thing. There's a slight
it's a little bit more upper class chili dog.
dude. So here's the thing about Gold Star and Skyline. Gold Star, there's a ton of Gold Star chilies and Skyline chilies around the Cincinnati area. Gold Stars are typically in like a strip mall or the end of a gas station, like in Somerset. You know how that Gold Star is like in a little strip mall. Skylines are more of like big, nice, beautiful, solo buildings. Like a big restaurant.
Establishments. Yeah.
Yeah.
establishments.
So people just kind of make that joke, that in
Yep.
Gold Star, just the environment is a little bit not as nice, but they're really about the same thing. It's hard to say.
Chili dogs.
I like them both. I'll eat them both. That's all I got. Sorry. I just thought I'd throw that in there. You can't leave out Eric Davis,
Yep. All right, guys. Before we get off here, good show. I just want to wish my wife a happy birthday. Today's her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy 21st birthday.
Yeah, exactly. 41st birthday. Marcia, happy birthday.
Love you,
Anyway,
babe.
until next time, guys, have a good one and be sure to get your pets spayed and neutered.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys Tuesday for Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yep.
That was a Bob Barker thing. I just did
Yeah,
that.
no, yeah.
Okay. All right. See you Tuesday, guys. Have a good one. Bye.